The Six Invitational, the biggest event for Siege in 2021, and the first international event we've had in over a year. It is filled with passion, explosions, but most importantly we get to determine who the new world champion will be, or if SSG can hold on to their title for another year. How the tournament's going to run is, to begin with, we've got two groups, Group A and Group B, with 10 teams in each group. These teams will play every other team in their group, and that will determine standings that will be used to sort teams into the upper and lower bracket for the main event. The bottom two teams in both groups will be sent home. With the event only in a few days now, I thought I'd give some predictions on how I think the group stage will unfold, but obviously there hasn't been any international events recently, so please take these predictions with a pinch of salt. Starting off at number 10, we have Furia. This is a Brazilian team which is relatively new to Tier 1 play, and most people probably haven't seen much of. They've been in the Brazilian League for the past 2 seasons now, placing both 10th and 4th respectively, but unfortunately they did fall short at the Copa Elite 6 at the end of last month, placing 7th. They still have a lot to prove, and maybe this tournament will give them some time to show us what they have on the international level, but to be honest, I'm not holding out for them. At 9th, I've got Team Empire, and let's be honest, you know who these guys are. This somewhat decorated team were the runners-up at the 2019 Six Invitational. I think you know the match I'm on about.
Match point again, we go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth again. Round 21 between these two teams.
I slightly more efficiently set up my notebook to account for overtime, having, I think, quite a lot of redundant lines, and I need a new page now.
Other than a blowout win against BDS in the European November Major, this team has been pretty inconsistent recently. They got knocked out of groups at the 2026 Invitational, and have had a few average performances in the last European leagues, but ended 9th in the most recent one. Yes, 9th out of 10 for Team Empire. I think the inconsistencies of this team will be their downfall, with so many games played back-to-back. One bad game will likely ruin their momentum, and let's be honest, it's not going to be an easy few games. In at number 8, I've got Team One Esports, the second Brazilian team in this group so far. If you haven't been keeping up, this is not the old Team 1 roster. The old roster got completely transferred to MIBR, and the new Team 1 consists of new players from a load of different teams. These guys have only had one big tournament as a team, which was the Copa Elite 6, where they placed 3rd, losing 2-1 to Liquid in the quarterfinals, in which Liquid actually went on to win the whole event. Whilst it was an impressive performance, I think the inexperience of this team will definitely cost them in the long run. Similarly to Empire, I think one bad game will likely make them lose all their momentum and completely make them go flat during the group stages, but we'll have to see because they do have some upset potential to win against some teams higher in my standings. In at number 7, I've put Dark Zero Esports, the only North American team in Group A. This is where you'll probably start disagreeing with me, and to be honest, I want to put Dark Zero higher, I really do, because in theory they looked strong adding NJR to the roster, but the results just don't seem to reflect that. In the most recent stage of the North American League, they came 6th out of 9, which for a team of this calibre of players just shouldn't be happening. In the past they've looked fairly shaky on LAN, and their recent North American League performance reflects that, but maybe the experience of playing on LAN for a couple of seasons may have given them some confidence. I don't know, maybe, probably not. For the number 6 spot, I have to put G2 Esports.
Let's just hold on. No, I'm not having this. I'm not having this. No.
After losing Pengu due to retirement, this team has picked up the Yak in Kayak, but even before they lost Pengu, they didn't seem like the world champion team they once were. At the 2020 Invitational, they managed to squeeze out of groups in arguably the easiest group, only to be instantly knocked out by a 1-2 punch by Fnatic and NIP. In the EUL, they've had some notable achievements like winning the January finals against BDS 3-2, but they also came 5th in the most recent EUL season, so it's hard to say where they're at. I think losing both Fabian and Pengu in a little over a year has definitely hurt this team, and whilst I still want to see these guys go far into this tournament, I just don't know how realistic that is when comparing them to the rest of the teams. It would be nice to see these guys make it to at least top 8, because I think it will give them the confidence they need to really propel them into the next stage of the EUL and break into that top 4, but I'm just not counting on this team anymore. At number 5, I've put Cyclops Athlete Gaming. This team has been together for a few years now and have had some respectable international performances, but you probably know them for this game.
There's a slight change now, obviously. Fuse is on the board, and Monty. So at least they have some...
Templates?
Yeah.
What's going on? Is Fuse having a shield? Look at that, he's having his pistol out. That's a shield Fuse.
Is it a shield Fuse? I am...
I am scared. What am I supposed to say here? Like, we have a Lion laying prone in the face with a shotgun, just waiting for a potential flank. Then we have Fuse now being taken down as he tries to put down a close to charge.
They also seem a little bit inconsistent against top tier teams and definitely have a lot to prove if they want to be taken seriously at the international level, but they have the potential to go quite deep into this tournament, especially in their current form. At the number 4 spot for the first team I think will make the upper bracket, I have put Faze Clan. This squad was also subject to massive roster changes like a lot of the Brazilian teams back in March. Essentially, this is the old MIBR squad alongside Astro from the previous Faze roster, replacing M King, who was with MIBR. It's hard to say how this team will perform, as MIBR did have problems performing internationally in the past, but with the addition of Astro to the squad and achieving second in the Copa Elite 6 to Liquid, I think these guys have a good chance of making it quite deep into the upper bracket and potentially a contender for the semi or even the grand finals. In at third, we have Cloud9. After failing to qualify for the 2020 Invitational, I didn't even think I'd be saying this team would be in the top half of this group, but you just can't ignore their recent performances. They've achieved first in the most recent APAC North League, first in the most recent APAC North Finals, and second in the November APAC North Major. I mean, these guys are definitely looking to make a large impact on this group, and will likely surprise a lot of people who don't tend to tune into APAC. The APAC region as a whole has been rather underwhelming internationally in recent years, with the only real team to make a mark being Fnatic, but I generally think Cloud9 can make it quite far into the upper bracket and really make a mark for themselves this tournament. And now, it's time for the top 2, between Team BDS and Team Liquid. Neither of these teams have much change in terms of roster moves in quite a while, with Liquid having the same lineup for almost 2 years now, and both these teams have proved themselves as real powerhouses in their regions respectively, with Liquid coming first in the Copa Elite 6, first in the Brazilian November Major, and second in the most recent Brazilian Finals. Team BDS have come second in the most recent EUL stage, second in the EUL Finals, and second in the November EU Major, as well as first in the August EU Major. And even though BDS technically did do better than Liquid at the 2026 Invitational, I think Liquid are definitely looking stronger coming into this event, so I'm saying that Liquid take Group A. I don't think it's a secret that LATAM are looking very strong coming into this event, and to be honest, I think Liquid have a very good chance at just winning this whole event outright. I think BDS definitely have the potential to win as well, but I just think Liquid look in much better shape. Thanks for watching. I'll be back in a few days to give you your Group B predictions, and while you wait, G2 fans, please, just accept that they're not making it to the upper bracket.
Oh God, I feel terrible. I feel terrible that I'm living in your head rent-free.